Good morning from Delmarva. Welcome back to Shorebilly Farmer. Well, it's a brand new day, Friday afternoon, and it is absolutely gorgeous outside. It's like 82 degrees, very windy. It's like 40, 50 mile an hour winds, gusting anyway. And I was like, you know, I want to open up the shop, let some fresh air through here, try to warm the concrete up. And that was a mistake because the floor, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the floor is just condensating. Everything is wet now. So hopefully it'll dry out. It's kind of humid out here today, but hopefully that air rushing through here will help dry it out. I'm leaving the dirt on the floor for now because I don't want to just streak across the floor because it's wet, make slippery, streaky mud. But anyway, we got something else that came in. Aside from that, let that dry out. Hopefully I don't blow away. I got these in the mail today. I'm one of them people that I don't like when things aren't 100% right. So the gas strut on this door that keeps the door open when you open it has pretty much worn out. And same thing with the gas struts that hold the back window open. When I open the window up, it wants to keep falling down. And it's the same strut. You can see it right there. Same exact thing here. Now I looked online, and Case New Holland, they wanted $70 some per strut. I was like, well, I'm not paying $70 a strut. So I went online, did some research looking around, and found the good old generic ones. I bought 3 of them for 52 bucks. They're probably made in China. If they last 4 years, they were worth it. So anyway, I'm gonna take this strut out. I've actually already loosened this one up, just see how it came out. These spin, they screw right in, no big deal. So let's go take these out, put that one in. I say it's easy, but you never know what's gonna happen. I'm actually scared if I don't hold on to this door, this wind is gonna just take the door off and bad things can happen. So I should probably wait to do this inside. But I'm excited, I got something new to play with. I should be okay. I think I can manage. This is going to be one of them hold my beers and watch this moments. I should not be able to compress this at all with my bare hands. So, you look at this one. Yeah, that ain't happening. These are different. Okay, so as you can see, the stud that came on the new one is a lot larger than what's on the window, so that ain't gonna work. But I'm gonna try something. I can take this off of the ball joint, and I can take the ball joint out of here. I might get lucky and the actual ball inside's the same size, and we could just snap onto the existing ball and replace just the strut. We'll see. It's always something. Well, you know what they say about assuming. I looked up the part number for the door strut thinking that it was the same part number as this strut. There's no way to interchange them. So basically I've got 2 spare door cylinders now, which is still fine because I still got the 3 of these cheaper than I would have paid for just 1 from the dealership. So it is what it is. I always find a use for something. We'll find a use for that. But live and learn. Don't assume. Look up the part numbers. Because even though they look the same, they are not. Okay, on to the next mini project. We are going to get back into this project. And actually you can see my hands are dirty. We've actually already started back into this project. I didn't have the camera with me because Eugene's time here is kind of finite with what he has going on. So decided not to really film much because we wanted to get as much work done that took 2 people to do as we could. And now that he had to go, I could bring the camera and kind of give you guys an update on where we are with this. So going back, the reason we were doing work on the combine is the rotor gearbox is a 2-speed gearbox, and it is not shifting gears. It is staying in low range. In order for us to do wheat this June, July, it has to be in high in order to thresh the wheat out. So we've got to remove this gearbox, and it's more than an ocean to get that done. So this is the ensuing mess that we have currently. Let me dive down here into the belly of the beast. I'll set this up and you guys can kind of watch me fall in. Oh boy. Whew. As you can see, it's a little tight in here. Oh boy, let me see if I can get spun around here. Gotta really straddle, get in here. Okay, so here's what we're working on. So this is the main drive belt here that comes off the motor. So there's a gearbox on the end of the motor. This is the motor. There's a gearbox comes off the end and runs this shaft and runs this belt. This belt runs this pulley, goes to this gearbox, and runs this sieve and this sieve. Now, why are they called sieves? Sieves are nothing more than adjustable pulleys. So if you were to open the hood on your car and look in there, you'd see a belt riding around all these different pulleys. All those pulleys are fixed in size, meaning their diameter does not change. These sieves, the way they work is, this one is the master sieve. This chain here, from a button up in the cab of the combine, we can press and hold to speed up or slow down the rotor. This would turn, screw this in and out, which open and closes this sieve. So here's one side of the pulley, here's the other side of the pulley. And what happens is, as this spreads further and further apart, this belt goes deeper and deeper down into the pulley. Well, when that happens, that releases tension onto this and allows this sieve, which is spring loaded, see the big spring in here, allows this sieve to close. So effectively what that does is you have two pulleys, and as one closes, the other one opens, and then vice versa. The other one closes, this one opens. That is changing the ratio of how fast the rotor spins, because the belt coming off the motor, the big one, the first one we showed you, that belt stays at a constant RPM when we're at full throttle. So we can vary the rotor speed at full throttle of the motor based on how we set these sieves back and forth. Now, behind this sieve is the rotor gearbox. You can see there's a long rod right there, and from the side over here, we can pull that rod back and forth, and it's supposed to shift this gearbox between high and low. That's what's not working. So in order to get to that gearbox, we have to take these sieves, and this whole assembly here has to come off. In order to do that, we had to get the belt off, which I'm still working on trying to snake it around here. We had to disassemble some of the stuff in here to give us some room to pull this out. As you can imagine, that's not a light piece of equipment. It's going to be fun trying to wrestle that out of this tight hole, but we can get it done. So far, that's where we are. We've got our belts off. Also, what we've done, this adjustment rod is where you adjust the tension of this belt between these two sieves. We had to loosen up these two bolts, and there's two smaller bolts down there that we loosen up, and then you can use this nut here on this threaded rod to move these sieves closer to these to give us slack to get the belt off. Clear as mud. If you're not lost yet, I promise you, when I'm done with this, I'll have you lost, me lost, and probably have the combine technician, Bunky, who usually helps us, who will probably be here and go over the combine, help us rebuild the gearbox. I'll have him lost too. So, told you I can mess anything up. Okay, so, where are we? Now, I need to try to get that off, but I need to try to get this around here. Gotcha. All right. Ouch. Whew. There have been a few explicitives and adult words used in this process. I promise that if I happen to let one escape, I will bleep it out in the video. It's going to happen. Just accept it. All right, our belt is free. So there's a giant nut on the end of this whole assembly that I need to get out, take it off, and then I should be able to slide this assembly with the sieves off. But I don't know how well that's going to work, because as you can see, well, I'll probably have to move this back that way now, because I will hit, this sieve will hit against this bulkhead here, which means I got to do all that screwing again. Maybe not. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to shift this back over there to give me the clearance to get that off. Whee! Stay. That ain't gonna work anymore. I don't have enough room yet. No, could just take that off. Just be free of that thing. I think that's what I'll do. Ha! Free at last. Whew. Now, what you didn't see, that I didn't bother filming, was me getting off the combine like 7 times to try to find the right size socket to fit that, because the right socket to fit that wouldn't fit because the outside diameter was too big to go in the hole, even though it was the right side for the actual nut. So I had to scrounge around and find a big socket, thin wall to get in there and get it. Got it? Okay. Well, with that off, all the instructions and YouTubers and online papers say that the sieve and that whole assembly should just slide right off the shaft. Nothing's ever that easy. Maybe it will be, but yeah, we'll find out. So I'm curious what you guys call these. I've heard them called breaker bars, pry bars, persuasion bars. I just know the names of them. Like this one sits comfortably between a smaller one that's, you know, please come off, to one a little bit bigger than this, which would be the I'm getting mad. And then I have a great big 8-foot one over there that's the I'm done asking bar. Just curious what you guys call them. I might have to go get the I'm done asking bar. So if you look down here, I can manually engage the spring and see it moving back and forth. See how it changes? You can see this opening and closing. What I'm afraid of doing by prying on this too hard is I don't want to bend this sieve. I'm not sure how we're going to get this off here. It's time to get the I'm done asking bar. This is the I'm done asking bar. Say hello to my little friend. Gosh, you get a workout with this thing. Be careful, my luck, I'll bust a window out walking around the shop. I think my I'm not asking bar is too long. Well, the bar's too long and I can't get down behind it because this is in the way and it can only go up so high because of the bin extensions. Luckily, this bin extension happens to be laying on the top of everything. So I'm going to pull these clips and lay this bin extension in, which will allow me to move that back, and will hopefully give me enough space to get down there behind that and give her the old what for. So stand by. All right, got our bin extension folded in, was able to open the door all the way, and now I should be able to get down behind there with our big breaker bar. Should being the most important word of that sentence. Something's not right. This should not be that hard to get off. I can't get the sieves off of the shaft, and the man that knows these combines inside and out, left and right, Bunky, has told me to pull everything all at once, meaning the gearbox with the sieves on it, just take it all out at once. That's all fine and dandy, but I need two people to do it, because what we're gonna have to do is take the combine out of the shop, get it out in the open, take the excavator, reach up over top of the combine with a chain, and try to lift everything out of there once we break it loose. And if you come down here, you see we got the side of the combine tore apart. This is looking into the side of the rotor. Where we're working is right up here. And this is the actual rotor here that you can see it spinning there. We have to support the rotor down here for when we take that gearbox out. If we don't do that, the rotor will fall, put pressure on the bearings up front, and could destroy them prematurely, but could also make it hard for us to get everything lined back up. So we've got these blocks and everything down here with a screw jack that we can take the load off of the shaft for when we decouple the gearbox from the rotor. Hopefully the rotor stays in its place and we can pull everything out easily. We're only 4 bolts away from pulling the gearbox out, but those 4 bolts aren't easy to get to, and trying to kind of balance everything, make sure this doesn't move, make sure we have the weight distributed properly. It's kind of a 2-person operation, and I would just feel more comfortable with somebody else here rather than me trying to jump back and forth and do it alone. So Eugene will be back here tomorrow evening and we'll dive into that together then. If we can at least get everything set up to roll the combine out and lift it out, then I'll call that a win. But we got to get this stuff done before wheat, because we're 3 months away from harvesting wheat. We'll continue this and pick this up again tomorrow evening. Hello? Hi. So Miss Shorebilly just informed me that this video is really long. She's only got half of it here. The other half is the rest of the work that we did with this, and we're still not done. We are still in the process of working on this combine because we had to dive much deeper than we thought we would have to. So here's my question to you guys. Do you enjoy seeing this kind of stuff? where we show you the internal workings of equipment, how it works, why it works, et cetera, or do you like kind of the overview stuff of the general day-to-day stuff on the farm? Remember, we are doing this for your guys' entertainment / education. We want you guys to understand what we do here on the farm on a daily basis. Now for us, yes, there is a lot of equipment maintenance, but we don't have to really spotlight that. It could just be a quick overview. Hey, we did this, here's some images and stuff of it, and we can move on to the rest of the day. But if you guys like seeing this stuff, we will gladly keep showing it to you. So anyway, there's gonna be a second part to this video. Stay tuned for that. But if you don't mind, you 70 dedicated viewers, that's awesome. I really appreciate it. Again, I'd like to hear from you guys. I really want to know, do you guys like this kind of content? If you do, awesome. We will keep doing it. If you'd rather see like the overview stuff that we've shown in the past, we try to mix it up. But if you'd rather see that, let us know. We'll just start gravitating more towards that kind of stuff. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for part 2 coming out on this video, where you really get to see us tear this combine apart. I mean, there's pieces and parts everywhere. You can't see them, but I can. It's a sad state of affairs up there, because there's more than just what was up there wrong with it. Because we had the bunkster, the man, the bearded wonder, come and go over the combine, and he's the one that really sniffs out the problems, and he found problems. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Goodbye from Delmarva, Shorebilly Farmer, out. That story, that's a nice story. For those that have kids, you know what our show, cartoon, whatever that's from. The beef and a bread.